Hi, Mr. Oftedal. So, first, before I start my argumentation, I'd like to say thank you for an amazing term, and you've taught me that history can be more than just memorizing names and dates, and you really inspired me and interested me in something besides STEM, which hasn't happened before. And I've never felt more prepared for an AP test ever, and I credit that all to you, so thank you so much for everything you've done for me and for all of my Apple friends. Um, I've learned that world history class is very different than English class. And that was a really hard adjustment for me at first. There's no flowery language, no beautiful transitions, and no artful introductions. It's just pure argumentation. So, during my time in AP World History, I've learned to be clear and concise with my work due to the numerous long assignments and writing many LEQs, and this has impacted my understanding of leadership because I now understand that a vital trait of being a leader is being able to communicate clearly and effectively, and it doesn't always have to be super long or complex. First, I'd like to discuss my learning of being a clear and concise writer. When I first came into AP World History, I wrote like Mr. Malloy and Miss Bagdenough taught, or at least I hoped I did. And this style of writing actually comes really naturally to me. So when I first looked at an LEQ outline, I thought that there is no way that by writing like this outline, I'm gonna get an A in this class or pass my AP test, because to me it just didn't look like good writing. But over time, with the many LEQs that we wrote every single week, I found that it was actually better to be clearer and more concise with my writing and get my point across rather than confuse people. And I saw this change to the point where my essays actually got higher grades as I became more concise with them, or at least I felt that they were better. And while this skill might not apply in every single class, it's taught me how to communicate my message in the most effective way possible. Furthermore, this skill of being clear and concise applies to how I approach my work as well as my writing, because we have notes obviously every single week in world history or twice a week, and in the beginning they would take me at minimum 4.5 hours just to do the notes and not the EPEX. And I remember one night Jackie Kaplan and I were up till 3 a.m. like handwriting our notes, basically just rewriting the textbook, because neither of us knew how to identify the important information. And over time, I saw that my notes became clearer and shorter as I was able to identify the necessary information. And then from those notes, I was able to study more effectively and write my LEQs from them better. And it taught me once again that longer assignments and making things look like prettier and longer is not always better. Now, how this all applies to leadership. While being the smartest person in the group might help, it's not actually necessary when stepping up and leading a group. While it's nice to have some creative and innovative ideas, those also come from who you surround yourself with. But being able to clearly articulate your mission helps everyone get on the same page and ultimately reach a goal. And by being clear and concise as a leader, it ultimately gains more authority because confusion should be limited in this way. In conclusion, during my time in AP World History, I've learned to be clear and concise with my work due to the numerous long assignments and many LEQs we had to write. And this has impacted my understanding of leadership because I now understand that a vital trait of being a leader is being able to communicate clearly and effectively, and you don't always have to make something super long or complex. Thank you so much, Mr. Oftedal, once again for an amazing term, and I'll see you in AP Euro.